Respect is not always earned through loud words or powerful speeches. Sometimes the greatest influence comes in silence, in the way we carry ourselves, and in the actions we take without uttering a single word. People are always observing, even when we don't realize it. They notice how we walk into a room, how we treat others, and how we handle challenges. These silent signals speak louder than any words we could ever say. Respect often begins long before you open your mouth. The way you walk into a room, the way you sit, stand, or even the way you make eye contact, these subtle, silent signals tell the world how you view yourself. Confidence is not arrogance. It is not about trying to be better than others. True confidence is the quiet belief that you are valuable, capable, and worthy of respect. And when you carry yourself with this belief, people notice. Think about this before you even speak. People form impressions about you in seconds. They notice your posture, your presence, your energy. If you slouch, avoid eye contact, or shrink into the background, you silently communicate insecurity. But when you stand tall, shoulders back, and hold your head high, you project strength. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to boast. Your body language does the talking for you. Confidence is magnetic. People are drawn to those who appear secure in themselves. Why? Because deep down, everyone is searching for certainty and strength. When you carry yourself with confidence, you give people a sense of stability. They feel they can trust you, follow you, and respect you without you saying a single word. But here's the truth. Confidence is not something you put on, like an outfit. It starts inside. It begins with self-belief. If you constantly doubt yourself, your body language will reveal it. If you secretly feel unworthy, you will shrink instead of shine. That is why building confidence requires inner work. It requires affirming your worth daily, reminding yourself that you are enough, and recognizing your unique strengths. Once you believe it within, it naturally shows outwardly. Another silent aspect of confidence is how you handle your presence in a room. Do you rush to speak, desperate to be noticed, or do you calmly wait, secure that your time will come? The person who is comfortable with silence, who does not need to prove themselves constantly, radiates a deeper confidence. Sometimes the quietest person in the room has the greatest presence simply because they are not desperate for attention. Confidence is also shown in how you respect yourself. The way you dress, the way you take care of your health, the way you set boundaries, all of these are unspoken declarations of self-worth. When you carry yourself with discipline and dignity, people automatically treat you with greater respect. They recognize that you value yourself, and if you value yourself, they learn to value you too. Even small habits send powerful signals. A firm handshake, steady eye contact, and a calm tone of voice can silently set you apart. You don't need to shout, boast, or demand respect. Your demeanor communicates everything. And when you walk with purpose, like you know where you are going in life, people will instinctively respect you, even if they don't know your story. Finally, remember this: confidence is contagious. When you embody it, you not only gain respect, but you also inspire others. People begin to adjust their own posture, energy, and presence to match yours. Your confidence gives them permission to rise higher. And that is the true power of carrying yourself with confidence. You not only earn respect without words, you elevate everyone around you. So, walk tall. Carry yourself with dignity. Let your silence speak volumes. Because when you move through the world with quiet confidence, you don't have to beg for respect. One of the most powerful ways to gain respect without saying a single word is through self-control. In a world where people are quick to react, quick to argue, and quick to let emotions take over, the ability to remain calm is a rare strength. When you can master yourself, you silently send a message. You are in charge of your mind, your emotions, and your actions, and that kind of discipline naturally commands respect. Think about the last time someone lost their temper in public. Maybe they shouted, argued, or acted out of frustration. Did they look strong? Did they gain respect from others? Probably not. Outbursts might feel powerful in the moment, but they actually reveal weakness because they show that emotions are controlling the person. Respect is never given to those who cannot control themselves. On the other hand, when someone stays calm under pressure, people take notice. Silence becomes power. Self-control is not about ignoring your feelings, it's about mastering them. It's knowing that anger, fear, and frustration are temporary emotions. but your actions have lasting consequences. The person who chooses to remain silent instead of exploding, the person who breathes deeply instead of panicking, communicates wisdom and maturity without saying a word. That composure speaks volumes and people respect it. One of the best examples of silent self-control can be found in moments of disrespect. When someone insults you or tries to provoke you, they are expecting a reaction. They want to see you lose balance. If you respond with anger, you give them power. But if you stay calm, look them in the eye, and choose not to be shaken, you immediately shift the balance. Your silence, your calmness, your refusal to be moved, all of that commands respect. It shows strength greater than words ever could. Self-control also shows up in discipline. Imagine two people, one who constantly gives in to impulses, whether it's unhealthy habits, procrastination, or reckless decisions, and another who lives with discipline, sticking to routines, choosing wisely, and staying focused on goals. Without ever boasting, the disciplined person silently earns respect because their self-control is evident in their results. People admire those who can master themselves because it is rare and powerful. Another dimension of self-control is patience. Respect grows when you are willing to wait, to endure, and to trust the process without rushing. In a culture that values instant gratification, patience stands out as a sign of strength. The person who can delay reactions, delay gratification, and hold steady when others are restless demonstrates authority over themselves. That patience speaks louder than speeches because it shows that you are not desperate, not weak, and not dependent on immediate results. We must also recognize that self-control creates peace. When you control your emotions, your life becomes calmer, and people respect those who bring stability. They will come to you for guidance, for leadership, or simply for inspiration because your energy is not chaotic. Without a word, your composure communicates reliability. People naturally trust the one who is steady in storms. The truth is, you cannot control everything around you. You cannot control people's words, attitudes, or actions, but you can always control how you respond. And when you master that, you gain a power that no one can take from you. Respect doesn't come from how loudly you speak. It comes from how quietly you endure, how wisely you respond, and how strongly you hold yourself together. So the next time life tests you, remember self-control is your silent weapon. It is your unspoken strength. It is what separates those who demand respect from those who command it naturally. Choose calm, choose patience, choose restraint, and watch how respect begins to follow you without a single word spoken. Respect is not built in a day. It is not something you can demand from others with words or titles. True respect is earned over time through consistent actions and a life of integrity. You don't have to announce that you are trustworthy, dependable, or honorable. Your actions will reveal it, and people will notice. In fact, consistency and integrity are some of the most powerful silent signals you can send to the world. Consistency means being the same person no matter where you are, no matter who is watching. It means showing up with reliability, keeping your promises, and sticking to your values. When people know they can depend on you, they begin to respect you deeply, even if you've never asked for it. The truth is, consistency builds credibility. If your actions match your words over and over again, people learn to trust you without hesitation. On the other hand, inconsistency weakens respect. If today you act one way and tomorrow another, if you speak about values but live in contradiction to them, people will lose trust. Respect disappears when actions and words don't align. That's why integrity is so important. Integrity is living in such a way that your choices, even the unseen ones, match your principles. It's doing the right thing, not because someone is watching, but because you hold yourself to a higher standard. Think about someone you admire. Chances are they are consistent. They show up with the same energy, the same values, and the same discipline, whether times are easy or hard. They don't shift with the wind, and they don't compromise their character just to fit in. That kind of consistency is rare, and that's why it commands silent respect. Integrity also shines brightest in difficult moments. Anyone can be honest when it's convenient, but when telling the truth costs something, that's when integrity is proven. Anyone can keep promises when it's easy, but when keeping them requires sacrifice, that's when your character speaks the loudest. You don't need to brag about it. You don't need to announce your morality. People see it, and it earns you respect without words. Consistency and integrity are also about discipline and everyday choices. When you consistently pursue growth, Keep learning, stay disciplined in your habits, and refuse to cut corners. People start to notice. They may not comment on it immediately, but over time they silently admire your perseverance. Respect is built in the daily grind, in the silent choices when no one is clapping, in the unseen hours of effort. What's powerful about living with integrity is that it makes you trustworthy. Trust is the foundation of respect. People may like you for your talents, your charm, or your achievements, but they respect you for your integrity. When they know you will stand by your word, when they know you will not betray their trust, they treat you with honor. And this doesn't require a single word, it's earned through consistent living. Even in leadership, the most respected figures are not those who speak the loudest, but those who consistently set the example. They don't say, "Follow me because I said so." Instead, their lives silently say, "Follow me because I live what I believe." That is the difference between demanding respect and commanding it. Living with consistency and integrity may not bring instant recognition. Sometimes it feels unnoticed, but in time it builds a reputation that no one can take away. People may doubt your words, but they cannot deny your consistent actions. And when they see integrity in you, respect flows naturally without you having to speak it into existence. So let your life be your loudest message. Be consistent, be trustworthy, be a person of integrity, even in the smallest things. Because in the silence of your actions, you will gain a respect that no amount of words could ever secure. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to gain respect without saying a word is by showing respect and kindness to others. People may forget what you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. The truth is, every act of kindness, every gesture of respect becomes a silent reflection of your character. Without a single word, your actions can speak volumes about who you are and what you stand for. Respect is not something you demand. It is something you give first. When you treat others with dignity, even those who cannot offer you anything in return, people notice. It reveals humility and strength. It tells the world that you value humanity, not just status or power. For example, the way you treat a waiter at a restaurant, a cleaner at your office, or a stranger on the street says more about you than your titles or achievements ever could. Without speaking, your kindness declares, "I honor others because I honor myself." Kindness does not require grand gestures. Sometimes it is as simple as listening when someone needs to be heard, holding the door open, offering a smile, or showing patience when others are impatient. These small acts may seem insignificant, but they carry immense power. They create a silent ripple effect. Others begin to treat you with the same respect and kindness you show them. What makes kindness so powerful is that it comes from strength, not weakness. Some people mistakenly believe that being kind means being soft or easily taken advantage of. But true kindness comes from confidence and inner peace. It takes strength to be gentle in a harsh world, to remain respectful when others are disrespectful, and to show compassion when it is easier to ignore. That strength commands respect, not through words but through action. Respect also grows when you practice fairness. Treat people equally regardless of their background, race, religion, or status. When others see that you do not play favorites, that you treat everyone with the same dignity, they silently admire you. You don't have to say, "I'm fair." Your behavior proves it. And over time, fairness earns trust, and trust turns into deep respect. Another form of kindness is forgiveness. When someone wrongs you, the world expects anger, revenge, or bitterness. But when you choose to forgive, not necessarily with words, but through your behavior, you demonstrate incredible inner strength. People respect those who can rise above hatred and bitterness. Your silent grace in moving forward speaks louder than any argument you could make. Kindness also has the power to transform environments. Imagine walking into a workplace where people gossip, criticize, and compete harshly now. Imagine walking to a place where people smile, encourage, and uplift one another. The second environment feels better, stronger, and more respectful. When you bring kindness into a room, you shift its energy. Without speaking, you become someone people look up to because they want to be near the peace you create. It's important to understand that respect does not grow when you demand it. It grows when people admire how you treat others. Even those who may not like you personally cannot deny the dignity you show through your kindness. They may not always agree with you, but they cannot help but respect the way you carry yourself. Ultimately, kindness and respect are investments. They may not give instant results, but over time, they build a reputation stronger than words. People will describe you not just as successful or talented, but as someone honorable. And that kind of reputation is priceless. So if you want to gain respect without saying a word, choose kindness. Treat others as you want to be treated. Respect every human being you meet. Because when your actions show honor, compassion, and fairness, your life itself becomes the loudest message of all. Discipline is one of the greatest silent forces that commands respect. You don't need to tell people you are focused, hardworking, or determined. Your consistency and results will speak for you. Discipline is not about doing something once in a while. It is about showing up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. And when people see that kind of dedication, they cannot help but respect you, even if you've never spoken a word about it. Think about the difference between someone who talks about goals and someone who lives them. The first person may use many words to describe their plans, their ambitions, and their dreams. But if they don't follow through, those words lose meaning. The second person, however, may not talk much, but their life is evidence of their discipline. They wake up early, they put in the work, they stay committed, and over time, their results tell a story louder than words ever could. Respect naturally flows to the disciplined person because actions will always outweigh promises. Discipline is a quiet strength. It is the ability to say no to distractions, temptations, and excuses, and yes to growth, consistency, and long-term vision. When you master this kind of self-control, people notice, even when you're not trying to impress them. They see you choosing progress over comfort, and it earns their admiration. You don't need to announce your discipline. Your life makes the announcement for you. One of the ways discipline speaks is through habits. Every small choice adds up. Your eating habits, your fitness routine, your study hours, your financial discipline. Over time, these small, unseen choices build visible results. When people look at your life and see health, stability, success, or peace, they realize it didn't happen by accident. They understand discipline was behind it, and that realization creates respect. Discipline is also about consistency and values. It's not just about doing the work. It's about holding yourself accountable to the standards you've set. For example, if you value honesty, you must practice it daily, not only when it's convenient. If you value growth, you must learn daily, not only when you're in the mood. Respect is earned when people see that your words and your life are aligned, not occasionally, but consistently. Another silent power of discipline is patience. In a world where many want instant results, discipline teaches you to wait, to endure, and to keep working even when rewards are delayed. People admire those who do not give up easily, who keep building when no one is watching, and who remain steady when others quit. Patience combined with discipline creates an unshakable presence that commands respect. The beauty of discipline is that it inspires others. When people see your lifestyle, your results, or your consistency, they are motivated to push themselves harder. Without even speaking, you become an example. You show others what is possible with determination and commitment. Leaders don't always lead by speeches. They lead by the silent testimony of disciplined lives. But discipline is not always easy. It requires sacrifice. It means choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasures. It means saying no when it would be easier to say yes. Yet this sacrifice is what makes it so powerful. People respect those who can control themselves, who can stay committed when others give up, and who can prove through discipline that they value their purpose. In the end, discipline is a silent language of strength. It doesn't demand recognition. It earns it naturally. You don't have to tell people you're disciplined. They will see it in your results, in your peace, and in your achievements. And when they see it, they will respect you, not for what you said, but for what your life silently proved. So let your discipline speak. Let your habits, your results, and your consistency tell your story. Because in the end, discipline is louder than words, and it is one of the most powerful ways to gain respect without ever saying a thing. There is a kind of respect that cannot be forced, demanded, or begged for. It flows naturally to those who embody grace and inner strength. Grace is not weakness, it is quiet dignity. It is the ability to remain calm and collected, even when life feels chaotic. Inner strength is not about showing off power. It is about having peace, resilience, and stability within yourself. When you carry these qualities, you don't need to say a word. People will respect you because of the calm authority you radiate. Grace is shown in how you handle challenges. Anyone can smile when life is easy, but when storms come, when difficulties strike, and when pressures rise, how you carry yourself reveals your true strength. Some people panic, complain, or break down under stress, but those who respond with calmness, patience, and quiet confidence show grace. They may not say much, but their demeanor silently tells the world, I am not defeated. I am stronger than this situation, and that silent message commands deep respect. Inner strength is also displayed in the way you deal with others. Grace means refusing to meet negativity with negativity. When someone insults you, belittles you, or treats you unfairly, your ability to remain composed speaks louder than any argument. By choosing not to lower yourself to the level of disrespect, you prove that you are in control. People may not say it out loud, but they admire that kind of strength. They realize it takes more courage to stay calm than to explode in anger. Another aspect of grace and inner strength is humility. True strength does not need to boast or prove itself. It moves silently, steadily, with confidence that does not require validation. When you are secure in who you are, you don't have to fight for attention. You don't have to force respect. Your humility and steadiness draw it naturally. People are drawn to those who radiate peace, not noise. Grace is also about forgiveness. Carrying bitterness, anger, or revenge may seem like strength, but it actually weakens the soul. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is an act of inner strength. It doesn't mean you excuse wrong behavior. It means you refuse to let hatred control you. When people see you letting go of grudges and moving forward with dignity, they respect you, not because of what you said, but because of the strength you demonstrated in silence. Embodying grace means valuing peace over conflict. It means you don't waste your energy on proving yourself to people who will never understand you. Instead, you focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Your calmness, patience, and resilience speak more loudly than words ever could. People respect those who can stand strong in storms without being shaken, because it shows a rare kind of power. Another quiet strength is endurance. Life is a long journey, and many people give up when things get hard. But when you keep going, when you endure with patience, you send a message without speaking, I refuse to be broken. That kind of perseverance inspires others and earns their admiration. They may not always say it, but they respect your ability to endure challenges with grace. The combination of grace and inner strength makes you unshakable. You don't need to argue for your worth. You don't need to prove your value. Your very presence communicates calm authority. People begin to respect you because they feel safe around you, they feel inspired by you, and they sense the quiet confidence that lives within you. So, embody grace, walk with calmness, hold your head high even when the world tries to bring you low. Carry inner strength that does not need to shout, because true strength never needs to announce itself. When you live this way, respect will follow you naturally, without a word, without effort, simply because your life radiates dignity and power.